so there we go. We've got a roundish. It's not perfectly round. You can see bumps there, but you know, basically it's round. But what I want to do is actually this end, I want to make a tenon to go in here. One of my handy tools is one of these. Okay. Now, on my wall over there, I've got measurements. I've got 69mm, which would be the optimum size for the outside, or for the size of the mortise for the jaws to expand into, and I've got 56mm, which is the optimum size for the jaws to actually close onto. Okay, that means that the inside of the jaws will be almost perfectly round. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this to 56mm. That. Okay, you see that? Just there. Right, so 56mm. Now, that's how much I've got to take off, really. So I know it's going to be, it's about equal. I might put a little line there. It's going to be about there. It's not going to be absolutely accurate, but you don't really want it much smaller than that. You don't want it too much bigger than that. So an easy way of doing it is just to hold your pencil. Oh, no, you can't see it, can you? Hang on. Oh, let's move it. Okay. Excuse me, but this is my first video ever, so right now. Right, okay. So what you do is you put your pencil roughly where it is, and then this is what I was talking about earlier, one of the best bits about turning. You just get to turn this around. I mean, you could, if you wanted, you could turn that on. Right, it's a bit wobbly, I need to square it off really, but that's the sort of, yeah, I need to square that off. So I need to make sure that that is perpendicular, totally straight, 90 degrees to these beds. So I better do that first actually. Okay, so stop it. Move the rest, make sure it's not going to turn onto it, lock it down, pencil down, got my diamond parting tool. I like it quite aggressive angle, yeah, not aggressive, but it's for sharp anyway. So, and what I want to do is I want to make this square. So the easiest way that I find is just to get this, and now make sure, just have a look, make sure that's above the centre, and it's just to go in at 90 degrees. Okay, so let's put the mask back on. Let's turn it up a tad, just a little tiny tad, up to about 600. See if it still wobbles. There's a bit, but that'll do. Right, so. So the best way of doing it is to go in straight, like that, I find. Until you've gone past the outside, and then you can push it up for like almost like a planing cut. I'm pretty much there now. Now, because this never actually touches the bottom of the jaws, it doesn't have to be, this section here doesn't have to be fantastically perpendicular. It can be a little bit better than that. So it doesn't have to be amazing. Don't touch the spinning bit around there. Now you can see that I'm pretty much down to where I want to be. Now my ideal mortise here is 1.5 times, whoops, 1.5 times the width of this for me. That leaves about 1.5 millimeters at the bottom between that and the bottom of the jaws, and you don't. That's pretty much what you want. You don't want it to touch, okay? Because otherwise it grinds, it bottoms out and stuff like that. So I'm just going to make sure that's about 1. So I need to go in another about half. This is the important bit. With my jaws, they're dovetail jaws, okay? So that means that I want, oops, where are we? Where are we? About there. Right, okay. So I want, there's my blank. If you can see that, and there's the end. Yeah. So what I want is exaggerated. I want it like a dovetail. Okay. You see that? That's exaggerated, right? I don't actually want it at that angle. I want it more sort of almost straight, really. But it's got to go in slightly, because the jaws, when they come, they're like that, and they actually grip on there. They grip on this bit here, and it stops it. These stop the work from pulling out the jaws. Okay, it holds it really well, clamps it in, absolutely perfect. So you want a dovetail. Obviously, whoops, obviously each chuck, some chucks don't have this, some chucks are straight and have like a little bit of the jaws, have like a little tiny bit which nib, which actually cuts into the round wood. So you cut the wood round like that, and that holds it. But mine are dovetail, so I need to do, and that is exaggerated, something like that. So I should just do that from my tool. So in fact what I'm going to do is I've got a skew here, which is a big flat sort of type chisely thing, and that's got a bit of an angle on it, so I'm going to use that. And that's pretty much the perfect sort of angle for me, I think. You should see that from there. And I'm going to take it out now and spin it round. So here we go. So move that out, unlock that, wind it back away. Here we go. And move it away. Now here we go. So you can see, very slight, very slight goes in a bit. There, see? So what I've got to do is move you so you can see. Let's come out a little bit more. Right. Okay. So I'm going to undo this. There's my 4-prong bit which goes in there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that into there. Okay, so I just need to wind that a little bit. Okay, so what I've decided to do is to show you the centre finder again, because this time instead of going to use I've cut that off really crudely on the chop saw, which is a crap one for B&Q job, so can't really expect much more, but it's only a small diameter blade. So anyway, so I've got the tenon at that end, and what I need to find the centre of this. So these centre finders, as I said before, great on squares because you've got the right angle there, but for circles you've got these angles. Now I don't know what they are, 60, 30, whatever they are, but you just put them on there, and then you see that just fits into these ridges, and then you just draw a line. Oops, draw a line, and you just move it around a few times. So you get centre, you see, and then you see that. You can just about see the centre there. There we go. Look. Okay. Cool. Right, so I'll get my little handy nail tool. Put it in the centre. Boom, done. Actually, it's hardly worth, you might think it's hardly worth putting between centres, but the thing is with wood turning is, if you've got something between centres, which is between a headstock and a tail stock, let's just try and see that. It's pretty close. Okay, if you've got something between centres, it's a lot safer because, oh, there we go, because you've got it gripped in the chucks. And you've also got like a little spike and some teeth going in this end. Okay, and what that basically means is this, once everything's locked down, there's no way that this, unless it splits, cracks or whatever, can fly out and hit you in the face. I don't want to lose my ravishing good looks, but anyway, so that's locked down. I'm going to wind that in there, bosh bosh bosh, tighten it up, then I finish tightening this up. Okay, because that's in the centre, that's central as well, but I'm just going to tighten it up, turn it round, tighten it up, turn it round, tighten it up. Okay, so there we go. Lovely. Right, so there is our little blank safely in there. Now I've moved the tool resting close, but I'm about 1/4 of an inch away from this end, from the chuck. Okay, I'm about 1/4 of an inch away from the wood, and I've got a nice bit of space there basically, because when you're working with a chuck, you don't want to really, sort of work too near to the chuck. You want to give yourself some space. So I usually give myself a whoops. That's not obviously not locked down. So I want to give myself probably, I used to say about a thumb. About a thumb. Alright. Draw a line there, and I'll do my favourite little thing in a minute. Now, the reason why I do a thumb is because you don't need that much. You can actually work right up to there. And many times when I'm doing stuff, I do leave probably only about 2mm, and you have this really thin disc whizzing around, which is a bit dodgy, but you just take that down. But anyway, the reason why I do about a thumb, for me, is because then, if I'm doing a bottom of whatever I'm just about to do here, is it gives me enough room. Just if I make a mistake on the rounding or cutting of the bolt, it gives me a little bit extra to play with. It gives me all this from probably about there. It gives me that much to play with. It gives about 1/2 inch to play with. So I know that I can plan for that. But if it all goes wrong, I can use that. Okay. Now my favourite bit is of the lathe has always been this. When you turn it on, you put your pencil there. Look, there's your mark. You turn it on, and get that. I love that. I can do that all day long. Now the other way is you can. Right, so there's my emergency zone sort of thing. You can make like a line like that, probably about 2 inches long, and when you turn it on, you will actually be able to see that. Look, see that? And then you can just. Like that. I love that. That's awesome. Do it for the hell of it. Look, I love that. Look, and you can colour it in as well. It's awesome. Yes, I should just do videos of colouring in like this. Awesome. Anyway, there we go. When things are really square and you've got a lot to take off before they get round, you want to slow it down. But, so that was on about 450, something like that. Now I'm going to crank it up to about 1,000. 5, 6, there we go. About 1,100 revolutions a minute, just over 1,000, right? And you will see the difference because it will just whiz off. Mask down, hitting a bevel, cutting, turning the chisel so it's facing away from me, so it's spitting out all of the things over there. My hand is being guided by this. And you can see right in my hip. You see with this camera that I'm actually moving my body like that. There we go. Get my parting tool. There's lots of things that are really annoying when you're doing something. Something that really niggles me is when you're wood turning and you've got a wobble at an end. It's very disconcerting. It doesn't worry me because I'm between centres and I know that nothing's going to happen. But the fact of the matter is, it puts me off. So I always like to have a straight, or that's not a great straight flat end, but there we go. It's better than it was, and it doesn't. When you turn it on, it looks like it's a solid piece of wood just sitting there, and that's what I like. Is then I can attack it with the tools and shape it and do whatever I want to it. But there we go.